Well, hello, friends. Good morning. It's Rhonda Nelson. I'm back with another Practice Growth Strategy. It's a Monday, and I am really excited about something that's coming up. I have got my friend, Rachel Miller, who is going to be on the podcast tomorrow. I am so excited about having her on, and I've already done the interview, so I'm not going to give you a spoiler alert, but what I do want to talk about is why using social media is so important. Rachel is going to dive into some of the whys we need to be using social media and how we can use it very safely. She's very aware of the limitations that we have as healthcare practitioners with the censorship that's going on with Facebook. And I personally believe, this is between us girls, that the censorship is going to go away at some point. So I think we need to not throw the baby out with the bathwater, but I think we need to use it wisely. And social media is where your patients most likely are, right? When you know your ideal patient, right? You know who your ideal patient is. So I'm going to rabbit trail just for a second here, and then I'll come back to this whole social media thing. But when you know who your target or ideal patient is, and that could be a specific type of patient or a specific condition, meaning that you may want to deal with just Hashimoto's, and that could be men or women or children. You may want to deal just with female hormones, which would clearly be women. So whether it's a type of patient or a type of condition, either one, get really clear about what you want to serve, who you want to serve, what you want to do, and what you want to be known for. The thing that you're known for is where you're going to be able to find leverage on social media, because your voice gets amplified when you speak about just one thing. Your voice becomes very much more magnified, amplified, and you have a better platform when you are known for one thing. In other words, you've got a specialty. It doesn't mean that you can't deal with all kinds of other clinical conditions. You totally can. But when you specialize in one thing, then the word gets out faster about what you do and who you are. That then becomes your message that you use on social media platforms, whether it's Facebook or Instagram, but that becomes your message that you use on those platforms to start attracting people that have that particular problem. So if we use Hashis, for example, it's a great example because so many people have it. So if we use Hashimoto's as an example, let's say that you are in a couple of Hashimoto's group, and you watch and you listen for the kinds of questions that those Hashimoto's patients are asking inside a group. Now, you're not interacting at all. You're just kind of watching and seeing what's going on and listening. And they're asking questions about what type of prescription thyroid medicine should I be on? And right now, at the time of this recording anyway, Armour Thyroid is mostly what everyone's going towards. They've taken away a lot of the other natural options, which is very sad. So you may want to do a post about the pros and cons of Armour Thyroid. There you go. Now, anyone who searches Facebook, in this case, for thyroid or Armour Thyroid, they're going to find your post. So the more specific you can get about posting about that for Hashimoto's, rather than saying, I help thyroid patients. You see the difference? One of them is very crystal clear, concise, and to the point. The other one is very broad. And there are lots of practitioners that are fishing in this pond that says Hashimoto's. What Rachel's going to talk to us about tomorrow is the importance of having that niche. And then once you identify that niche, knowing how to use Facebook, how to leverage it so that you can attract your patients, but do it in a safe way. So your patients didn't get the memo that Facebook is slimy and they censor stuff. They probably didn't get the memo, but you and I we got the down low. We know what's going on here. If your patients, your ideal patients are on social media, I hate to say it, my friend, but this is the, time in the world when social media is how we communicate. Used to be that we took ads out in the paper. That was how we got the word out, or the yellow pages. For those of you that you're too young to remember what yellow pages are, trust me, it was just an old form of advertising, right? So we took an ad out in those places. That was it. That was all we had to get the word out, other than word of mouth. Now we have basically a worldwide platform that's called social media. And your patients are likely on there. So your Hashimoto's patient, where do they live? Do they live more on Instagram or are they on Facebook? When you know your ideal audience, that Hashimoto's group, you might say my guess would be they're probably much more likely to be on Facebook because they can go into those very specific groups and start having conversations with other people who have the same thing as them. So for conditions, generally speaking, those ideal patients are going to be on Facebook. For people who are just traveling through life, the youngers and the olders, they tend to be on Instagram. At least that's my experience. So all of that to say, I did a lot there. All of that to say, be sure you check out the podcast tomorrow with my good friend, Rachel Miller, who's going to give us the lowdown on why it's so important to have a niche and how to target that niche, attract them, and do it safely on Facebook so that she's just going to talk about Facebook so that we can attract the right audience and grow our businesses. So there you go, friends. That's it. Make sure you tune in tomorrow to the podcast. I can't wait to talk to you soon over either in the Mighty Network group or the Grow Your Wellness Business Facebook group, which is just business related growth topics. All right. Take care, friends. Talk to you next week. Bye.